Hello, Wu Ming here. So, I wanted to talk about a phenomenon that happens on social media especially with beginner martial artists showing themselves train, and then either people that pretend to be instructors or black belts, or actual instructors or black belts of a certain style will watch these videos and then critique them. Now, in some cases, these people may actually have um, all the best intentions in the world. But what I want to talk about is that when, say, it is a student of, say, Kung Fu, some sort of Kung Fu style, and you do some sort of karate style, or it's somebody doing Muay Thai and you do Okinawan karate, or you do Taekwondo and this person's doing some other martial art. Your style is different than their style. Your style has different principles. I am lucky enough to have seen many different styles and to learn a few different styles, and it's given me a much broader perspective. And that when I look at somebody training, I think to myself now, at least the first thing I think is like, if I see something that I would correct, I say to myself, maybe that's just how this style works. Maybe this is something. Maybe this is even something I could learn from and use in my own martial arts. But also, I don't want to say the wrong thing to this beginner starting out, because even though my style of martial arts might have a certain principle or a certain way of doing a technique, that is not necessarily how it's done in other styles, and often other styles are different in some way. Um, and I just wanted to point out how confusing that can be to a beginner. Somebody who's a black belt, somebody who's an instructor, somebody who's a master, it's very hard to, get them confused and to get their confidence down. They've been through this before. They've heard all the criticism before. They've put themselves out there. They've taught students. They've seen their students get better and grow in martial arts, and so their confidence is pretty strong. There's not much to worry about. But when it's a very new student to martial arts, you can easily down their confidence by doing this. You can easily confuse them as to what they're supposed to do. The student might start thinking they're doing something wrong when they're actually doing it exactly the way their instructor wanted them to. Also, the instructor is the one spending the most time with their student and whatnot, and they know at what stage they're at. And sometimes you don't want to make too many corrections at once. In fact, always, I wouldn't make too many corrections at once. And I see a lot on these TikTok videos of, like I say, beginner students where somebody waltzes in and gives them about 10 corrections, which might even be legitimate corrections. But when you give somebody 10 corrections at once, it's overwhelming. And again, it downs their confidence. Oh, there's 10 things wrong with what I'm doing, right? So, if you want to teach martial arts, that's great. But part of being a teacher is building your students' confidence and slowly, gradually introducing them to new concepts and new principles, allowing them to get used to certain techniques, and before you start totally correcting everything till it's perfect. And of course, nobody is ever perfect. And again, your style might not be their style. And it really, if you don't do the same style of martial arts as the person you're critiquing, you should probably keep it to yourself. um, unless maybe your style shares the same principles as the other style. Even then, try your best to build the students' confidence, to keep them engaged, to keep them inspired, etc. Um, and and be friendly. Um, I don't know why I have to even say this, but I've seen the opposite from from legitimate instructors. I've seen some pretty horrible comments on beginner students videos on social media, and I really wish that would stop, because I want to see as many people enjoying martial arts as possible, and I think that should be the goal of a good instructor and a good teacher. And unfortunately, some of the instructors out there, some of the instructors on TikTok are absolutely shit at their job. Blessings.